By the end of this lecture, learners will be able to define the principles of the total physical response teaching method, identify the typical techniques of the total physical response teaching lesson, know the advantages and shortcomings of the total physical response method. This is lecture number 15. The total physical response teaching method. Hello everybody. And welcome to UNIV-ENGLISH channel. It's all my pleasure to meet you again in this series of e-learning lectures, aimed at developing your knowledge and skills in the area of didactics and pedagogy, to reach teaching learning quality. But, before we move forwards, if you have not been here before, then, welcome to the UNIV-ENGLISH channel. If you do like videos like this, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. And also smash the notification bell to receive notifications of when I produce more videos like this. For more information, you are invited to visit my website, english.mokerma.com. So, let's begin with this question. What do you know about the Total Physical Response Teaching Method, TPR? Introduction. Total Physical Response is a language teaching method that employs physical motor activity for language acquisition. It focuses on language through physical movements. Total Physical Response is an approach to teaching a language based on listening and physical activities which reinforce understanding. The Total Physical Response, TPR, is an accelerated method of learning second languages that was invented by Dr. James J. Asher, a professor of psychology at San Jose State University. Total Physical Response is based on the belief that a second language is learned most effectively in the early stages if learners aren't pressured to produce texts while trying to learn. The Total Physical Response is focused on using physical movement in response to input in order to reduce student inhibitions and lower their affective filter, stress. Characteristics of the Total Physical Response method. The Total Physical Response model has been used in a variety of settings, including language classrooms, teacher training programs and for the evaluation of students' second language proficiency. It has also been used to develop materials for teaching English as a foreign or second language, ESL and EFL. In addition to the theoretical framework, the Total Physical Response model has a number of associated features that have been developed over time. These include: students can learn through observing actions as well as by performing the actions themselves. Action verbs are the core of TPR. Listening ability and vocabulary must be developed first. Understanding the spoken language before developing the skills of speaking. Students respond to commands that require physical movement. Students can initially learn one part of the language rapidly by moving their bodies. Imperatives are a powerful linguistic device through which the teacher can direct student behavior. The student is not forced to speak but is allowed an individual readiness period and allowed to spontaneously begin to speak. Students must develop flexibility in understanding novel combinations of target language chunks. Learners are encouraged to speak when they feel ready to speak. Students should not be made to memorize fixed routines. Learning a second or additional language, that language is internalized through a process of code breaking similar to first language development. Combines information and skills through the use of the kinesthetic sensory system. Appropriate activities can produce stress-free learning. There must not be any stress in the class. Language learning is more effective when it is fun. Corrections should be carried out in an unobtrusive manner. Spoken language should be emphasized over written language. Students will begin to speak when they are ready. Students are expected to make errors when they first begin speaking. Teachers should be tolerant of them. Work on the fine details of the language should be postponed until students have become somewhat proficient. Exploit the student's errors for exposing other structure points. Teacher's role. In this method, the teacher uses a number of techniques to help students learn new words, including repetition, matching letters with sounds, reading aloud, and spelling. Students learn the sounds of letters and letter combinations by writing them on a word wall. The teacher writes words on the board that are used in class, such as the and cat. The students repeat the words and then write them on their own paper. Teachers focus on active and direct role. Select supporting materials, and model the lesson. It provides opportunities for learning. Allow speaking abilities to develop in a natural pace. Parent-like feedback and fine-tune. Learner's role. Research has shown that one of the most effective ways for students to learn is by using the total physical response method. It helps them to have a more active learning experience, and it encourages them to interact with their peers. This method also improves their quality of learning and retention. Learner's role may be described as follow. Listener and performer. Listen attentively and respond physically to commands given by the teacher. Recognize and respond to novel combinations of previously taught items. Produce novel combinations. Encourage to speak not until they feel ready. Monitors and evaluates his own progress. Teaching learning process. In the total physical response method of teaching, teachers use their bodies as well as various techniques and strategies during the teaching learning process. The role of the teacher is to help students learn and grow, but there are some teachers who do it better than others. Here's how you can be a good teacher. Be organized. Teachers need to be organized and have a plan for each day. If you're disorganized, students will see it and feel it. Plan your lessons well in advance so that you can teach with confidence. This process is based on the following. New commands. Teacher gives new commands, repeat and vary them to align with learners' needs. Role reversal. Student command their teacher and classmates. Reading and writing. The teacher writes new items on the blackboard. Advantages of the total physical response method. The total physical response method is a teaching technique which allows teachers to model language without teaching grammar. This makes it appealing as it helps students learn a language more easily. It is a lot of fun. Learners enjoy it, and this method can be a real stirrer in the class. It lifts the mood of the class. It is very memorable. It does assist students to recognize phrases or words. It is good for kinesthetic learners who are required to be active in the class. It also taps the visual and auditory skills of the learners. It can be used both in large or small classes. In this case, the class size does not matter that much. As long as you are prepared to take the lead, the learners will follow. It works well with mixed ability classes. The physical actions get across the meaning effectively so that all the learners are able to comprehend and apply the target language. There is no need to exert a lot of time for the preparation of materials using the TPR. It involves the use of both the left and right brain in learning. Disadvantages of the total physical response method. Students who are not used to such things might find it embarrassing. It is only suitable for beginner levels. This method holds stronger in teaching non-abstract vocabulary items and is unsuccessful in teaching abstracts that are acquired at advanced levels. It gives priority to receptive skills, mainly listening, at the expense of productive skills. Very less effort is expected from the learner. It assumes that stress hinders the process of language acquisition, denying the fact that positive stress, as explained in some literature, is considered sometimes crucial in learning processes. Grammatical features and vocabulary items are selected not according to their frequency of need or use in the target language situations, but according to the situations in which they can be used in the classroom and the ease with which they can be learned. The method is time-consuming. Learning a single vocabulary item, for example, would require the demand or imperative of the teacher, the student's demonstration, and the teacher's feedback. It usually involves the whole class participating in learning one single item. Yet, the results would be expected to be more fruitful and lasting than it is with other methods. challenging for shy students. Best suitable for beginners. Conclusion. Total physical response is an alternative to explicit teaching methods, such as grammar translation and the audio-lingual method. The teacher elicits responses from the class by using a set of drills or games. Both speaking and listening are emphasized. The students learn to speak by responding to commands and questions or by describing objects and actions. They learn to listen by repeating sentences after the teacher and by answering questions. The total physical response, TPR, model is one of several instructional models used in language teaching. It is based on the assumption that most people learn best when they are active participants in the learning process.